Hi everyone, my name is Linda Diaz and I am in group 5. We called ourselves the Sherlock Bite Squad of CIS 110, and we chose our topic to be computer forensics, and all its different aspects. Here we have the homepage, which gives us a brief overview of kind of touches on each and everyone's part. So the computer forensics, the history, and the government agencies, that is both mine and Genesis's part. Key elements for some of the different processes used touches on Tyler's portion, which is the process of using forensics. We have a video that I uploaded regarding the FBI's Digital Forensic Laboratory, and that kind of touches on Ebony's portion when it talks about the tools and software that's used. And then computer forensic specializations. One of them here is the network forensics. So there's 6 different specializations currently right now. And network forensics is one of them, and that is Sarah's topic. And then the science of computer forensics, which is Paul's topic. So we do have our name right here, Sherlock Bite Squad. That was the name that was picked. And then each team member's name right here and our name over here at the footer of the page. So the second page of our Wiki project is the team page. It says Sherlock Bite Squad, our name. You have each person's picture, their name, and their course of study or their major. So that is all in there. And then we have my page, which is what is it? So what is computer forensics? And how I started it off was I used the FBI's definition. So it is the science of acquiring, preserving, retrieving, and presenting data that has been processed electronically and stored on computer media. So that is what the FBI uses as their definition for computer forensics. Computer forensics is also known as cyber forensics, so they're interchangeable. And then I have a video here which I'll play, which talks, it's one that I created on Doodly, so I'll put that in. Okay, so that is just a little overview about computer forensics. It gave you a little bit about the history, but the real reason why it was created or why it came about was because of a need to actually catch criminals that were committing computer crimes. You know, the computer age is fairly new, and crimes being committed by use of electronic devices or computers, that is fairly new too. So as technology evolves, and of course, criminals figure out ways to use certain things, and then law enforcement has to come back in and figure out how are they going to catch these guys, how are they going to prosecute, and that's primarily why computer forensics was created. Okay, they needed a way to be able to provide evidence for court purposes for prosecution of these criminals, but they had to maintain the integrity of the evidence. And with computers, they learned that it was pretty easy to change that. So they had to develop a way that processes and procedures could be in place so that they could do it without harming the evidence. So my second portion of my page was the history of computer forensics, which goes into just a brief timeline on their early stages. So the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center first began offering trainings on the collection of digital evidence back in the 1980s. It wasn't until 1984 that an actual team was created, which was through the FBI, and it was the CART team, which stands for Computer Analysis Response Team. So that was the CART team that was created. And then IACIS, they came in several years later, and they are the International Association of Computer Investigative Specialists. 91 was actually when our federal law enforcement actually got involved with the international community and met so that they can start discussing different procedures, different processes, different ways that they were finding doing things. In 93, that was actually when the FBI decided to host their first international law enforcement conference on computer evidence. It was attended by over 70 agencies, between U.S. federal, state, and local law enforcement to international law enforcement agencies worldwide. So they held it again in 95, and because of these meetings, different organizations started forming. So the International Organization on Computer Evidence formed in 95. Shortly after 97, the Scientific Working Group on Digital Evidence was formed, and these two groups were formed to address computer-related forensic issues and computer crime investigations. And then it wasn't till 2000 that the FBI actually created their first regional computer forensic laboratory to actually study their evidence, or actually examine their evidence. So the first one was in San Diego back in 2000. And then when they started doing forensic laboratories, the ISO, or the International Organization for Standardization, developed an actual process and procedure for, or a new standard for what were the general requirements for the laboratories, what was the general requirements for testing and calibrations of the machines that they were using, how they were doing their processes and their investigations and their examinations. So that was created back in 2005, and it was one of the first ones that was actually used internationally. And then since then, we've had quite a few different processes and procedures developed and created by several different agencies, whether it's federal, whether it's corporations, organizations, international. So it depends on what the local governments or the private sector decides that they want to use. Now, there are two types of investigations. When you look at computer forensics, you do have the public side and you have the private side. Now, with the public side, you're looking at more like criminal investigations because they have committed a crime against the general statute, okay, an offense against the general statute or law, Okay, and so these are prosecutable. Law enforcement usually are the ones that handle these types of investigations, and the priority is to arrest the offender, prosecute the offender, and punish the offender. So litigation against the offender is the priority, the main goal for these types of investigations. Now, the civil side of it, civil investigations are offenses against civil law statutes or organizational policies. So these are where you have your data breaches and you have theft of security secrets, that kind of stuff. And the priority in these types of investigations is not so much prosecuting the offender, but making sure that the business stays open, but stopping whatever else is going on. So in data breaches, they want to make sure that they stop people stealing the information, but the business stays intact. So that's the priority, the two differences in both the priorities. Now, the challenges with computer forensics is, I mentioned three main ones. So the technology landscape is changing like crazy. We have every day something new is coming out. So with new technologies, new ways of committing crime, and then we have to figure out how to actually prosecute, how to handle the equipment, how to learn about the technology. There are actually anti-forensic techniques that people use, that criminals use, to avoid apprehension or hinder prosecution. One of them is encryption software. So if you think about sending an encrypted email, that is a way that offenders can get out of prosecution. There's also ways for them to hide data in different places, or to, like in the cloud, or by use of certain equipment like a stenography tool, which actually hides data in picture files, okay, or by deleting data. And then the third one that I mentioned is the volume of data. So if you think about a terabyte of information, there's tons of information in 1 terabyte. One laptop can hold sometimes up to 2 terabytes. And then you have external drives that can hold even more. So if you imagine somebody having to sift through all that information, it could take months, years to go through all of that. So because of the sheer volume of data, it ends up being a challenge for law enforcement or investigators to actually comb through everything. It causes backlogs and it causes so much issues. So those are the main challenges that I provided. Okay, and then if we're going to go to the other pages, we have the process of using forensics, which is Tyler's page, and he mentions, you know, the process. He uses three different types. So you have his page right here. You have Ebony's page, which is tools of the trade, and she goes into hardware, software, and techniques. You have government and forensics, which is Genesis's page, and she goes into the different agencies. She actually outlines some real life examples, has a video of the Casey Anthony case, which everybody's familiar with. Network forensics is Sarah's page, and she goes into some information on here about network forensics, the legal considerations. We have the science of forensics, which is Paul's page, so he's still working on some of his. And then our resources page, which is the very end. And we have all of our references on here for each and every page. And everybody's portion in there. So that is our Wiki project that we have put together. It was very interesting. It was fun to try to create a website. I've learned a lot about computer forensics. Prior law enforcement, I was all into this topic. So had a blast. Thank you so much. And that is it.